knife watch. Let's get into it. CJRB Centros in Micarta. Now I have comfortability and definitely a little bit of familiarity with the CJRB Centros. This is the original CJRB Centros with carbon fiber scales. Now this Micarta model has a few upgrades to this model. This has just recently come out this summer, 2020. And I've got this at least, about 3 or 4 months ago. And I actually really love this CJRB Centros in carbon fiber. So wondering what I think about this Micarta one, we're gonna do a quick update comparison between the two. So I haven't reviewed the CJRB Centros on the channel, but I have a couple comments. Here's 5 things you didn't know about the CJRB Centros, okay? Gonna get a little bit of a double header here, right? Since you get the 2 different models. Why in the world would I have 2 of the same knife? Well, number 1, because I'm an addict, okay? I collect knives, I collect gear, I collect flashlights, I collect watches. These are things that to me have great resale value. I take interest in the engineering perspective of them. They hold their value for me if I ever want to sell them, trade them, move them. They're conversation topics with friends, and they're great gifts for friends as well. But more than anything, I love to carry a blade. It makes me feel more responsible and ready for the day ahead. So why would I have 2 of these? Well, because they're fantastic. Okay, so the first thing you didn't know about CJRB Centros is this is designed by Dylan Mallery, okay? And here is his maker's mark. Gotta tell you, Mallery is an amazing design. That I guess Zergling looking M is for StarCraft fans will understand that reference. This really is just a beautiful looking maker's mark to me. It's very modern. I guess M is for modern and Mallery. And I gotta say, I really love it. His brand logo really speaks to his, I would say, proclivity in his designs. He typically makes very sharp and pointy blades for CJRB and for Artisan Cutlery, which is the parent company of CJRB. Second thing you didn't know, I guess, about Dylan Mallery, which is, I guess, A on the first thing you didn't know, is that he has many designs with Artisan Cutlery that all feature his signature style. When I see any of his blades now, I know it's designed by him because it's got this, he has a beautiful, just natural eye for how do I make something look sharp, okay? But not like a deadly weapon. I don't know how it does this, but there's a certain class with this blade. When you pull this out, and you pull any knife out in front of people who may or may not be knife people, there's always a thing in the back of your mind, like, are they gonna judge me? Are they worried about, thinking that I go around stabbing people with this thing? Well, if you're around people who have a brain in their head, they'll be able to see, as soon as they look at this, well, it actually is a pretty good looking blade. It's a naturally attractive blade style. And the second thing you'll see about it is it's got a really amazing just blade to handle ratio. So if you are a knife guy or a gal or non-gender binary person, you'll just be a fan of the fact that you feel like you're really getting a lot of blade for the size that you're paying for. The second thing you didn't know about the CJRB Centros is the price. Now, prices are always changing, so I typically do not, I think it's kind of vulgar to give prices because they may be drastically different by the time somebody watches this, whether this be months later, years later, and it always changes with, just pricing and how the company's doing. So I won't give you an exact price, but what I'll tell you is if you look up a CJRB Centros, it's gonna be below $100, probably going to be below $80, and probably below $70. If you could find a great deal, you could find these below $50. And that is, to me, just an amazing value. I think that the CJRB Centros is top 5 blades you can get under $100. So just in terms of a great value, gotta love it. The third thing you didn't know about the CJRB Centros is that this is coming from a company that is well known in the industry, Artisan Cutlery. Artisan Cutlery has, I'm not gonna put it up in this video, but they have a logo that has been much conversation. Logos are very important for all my watch fans. There's obviously Christopher Ward. Their logo is something that really turns some people off. But Artisan Cutlery, the parent family of CJRB, has a logo that reminds people of either the New York Giants logo or even worse, of a swastika, which, let's just be honest, it's a conversation we just don't want to get into when we're pulling out our blade, right? We'd rather people just see the beauty of the architecture, of the way it's been built and engineered and designed. And that's just something that I think that CJRB has done for artisan cutlery. They have really made a name for themselves. And I believe that the Centros, if you didn't know that third thing about this being from artisan cutlery, what I'll add on to that, I guess it'll be part A of point 3, things you didn't know about the CJRB Centros, is this to me is the face of CJRB. Okay, this Centros. And so to have 2 different versions is something that's just really lovely to me. So the fourth thing you didn't know about the CJRB Centros is that not only does it come in many styles in terms of handle scales, you can get it in G10, and they even make a jade version and some other colors, brown, blue, and they'll even have different parts of the pivot that will be different. CJRB offers a range. You'll also get different contouring on the handle scales. Now, what do I mean by contouring, right? So if you're looking here, you can see that this is a very flat scale, okay? It's pretty obvious here, right? If I show it to this side, there's really no 3D pattern to this, right? You just got this beautiful flat carbon fiber, very beautiful and smooth. Anybody who likes carbon fiber at all, this is a no-brainer. It doesn't make it super duper light because, as you can see, there's no internal milling on inside of these liners. But when you pick up this brand new Micarta version that just came out summer of 2020, let's take a look at this. Not so flat anymore, right? Let's put them side to side so that you can really tell. There's a little bit of a circularity, is that a word? There's a circular nature to this contoured scale that just agrees with your palm. It will melt in your hand. It feels fantastic in hand. So if you already liked, again, 4-finger grip, comfortable on there, beautiful, and just really feels great. What I love about the CJRB Centros and the fact that you get these different types of handle materials and shapes is that you can really, you have a multitude of grips on this blade. Now, one of my favorite YouTubers, Apostle P, once said that the human hand was made to handle a stick, right? And so a blade that reflects, or at least the comfort of holding a stick, and something that really is primitively and instinctively comfortable in our hand, and we know how to wield it and use it for tough tasks. And that's more important than anything. If you're using a knife, you should know how you want to hold it. There are so many grips that are comfortable with this blade because they really did not put anything that's too bothersome. This jimping is appropriate. It gives you a good idea of where to put your thumb, but it doesn't force you to put your thumb there. Everybody knows that watches my channel, I love to choke up on my blades and put my thumb up here. So that's really important. The ramp is always important to me on a blade. How does it feel on the back side? Because that is where I usually put my thumb. So I've got a full 4-finger grip and I've got some excess material here. So if I want to pull back and I want to use this grip like this, so I want a little bit longer of a distance. Sometimes you do this when you want to cut cardboard and you don't want to be too close to where the cardboard is slipping and you want to be very careful. That's really nice that you can choke back here and give some more distance and space here. And I can choke up and get really close to the tip of this blade. For a large knife, that's really, really just easy to use in any way that I like. This pocket clip is absolutely amazing, not going to get in your way, and so great in and out of pocket, feels secure. And I think that CJRB just nailed this pocket clip, and it really speaks to the experience of a veteran brand like Artisan Cutlery, putting in their budget knives the intelligence and knowledge that they've earned from Artisan Cutlery's knives. The fifth thing you didn't know about the CJRB Centros is the action is absolutely unbelievable, okay? Now, some people say studs are, thumb studs are not as great as a Spidey hole, right? There's all types of opening mechanisms, compression locks and liner locks and frame locks and everything in between, back locks and so on and so forth. These CJRB Centroses have unbelievable action all their own. I don't know what it is, but they have nailed, absolutely nailed the detent on the CJRB Centros. It doesn't matter which one you get. Now, this Micarta one came with a little bit of lock stick when I first got it. But there's something to be said about the thumb stud being in the perfect position for your thumb to where the fat of your thumb palm is going to be. And this muscle here, wherever it lands, wherever you end up putting this in when you first grab it, your thumb is going to have a perfect spot to pop this open. And it really does have a pop. Check this out. Okay? The speed of that is unbelievable. It feels great to open. It almost feels like it's got an assisted opening, but it really doesn't. You can tell by this drop shut action, right? So let's check it out on this one, right? Same thing, right? And I'm not putting or exerting that much energy. It's just such a amazing action. Guys, this is a blade that I got for less than 50 bucks. Can you believe that? So you're getting a lot of blade, D2 steel, not the best steel in the world, okay, on both of these models, but certainly serviceable enough. I've broken down many boxes with this model, actually, and I've actually not had to sharpen it, just strop it a couple times, and I'm back in business to where I was straight out of the factory. So they're not going to scare you with how sharp it is or with the blade steel being premium, but that keeps the cost down. To get a Micarta blade at this price point with contoured handles, and the number 6 thing you didn't know about the CJRB is I've got some gold here, okay? Wristwatch check, Seiko 5 in all gold. This is an edition that you're only gonna get in Asia. I love to match my knives and my watches. My name is Knife Watch after all. And look at those. I gotta say, give me a little bit of style. Give me some flash when I'm carrying my blade. Budget blade or not, this shows care and concern that you actually do want to give a wink to your audience and to your customers. So CJRB, I wish I could give you a high five, but all I can give you is 5 things that you didn't know about the CJRB Centros. Really proud to be an owner of both of these excellent budget blades. Knife Watch. Peace and love. Out.